Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. This is Sawa of Cape Malay Cooking and Other Delights, sharing my bread recipe with you today. So this is my basic bread recipe that I use for bread, for rolls, for surprise rolls. In this instance that I'm making, I've made garlic bread and tear and share with this as well. So I started off with 4 cups of bread flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon sugar, and 1 packet of instant yeast. Give it a quick stir and then just mix until it's all combined and you no longer see the individual ingredients. You can add 2 tablespoons of oil. You can use normal oil or olive oil. And then you can add 1.5 cups of lukewarm water. Start by mixing the dough, the flour with the water, just so it gets incorporated. Right, and don't worry if it sticks to your fingers, it will eventually no longer stick to your fingers. And then you tip it onto your work surface. Take all the bits of extra dough flour out of the bowl and start kneading. So I've got an extra cup of flour there, but I didn't use that. That was just there just in case I do need it. But I didn't use it. The 1.5 cups of water was just the correct amount. And then I start kneading the dough. You can see I've got quite fairly amount of dough on my hands when I started, but as I go into along, it disappeared from my hands. It no longer stick to my hands, the dough, and it no longer stick to the surface. So this is the consistency and the texture you want your dough to be. Nice and stretchy and soft when you've reached after about 10 to 15 minutes of kneading. Then you're going to take the same bowl. So I'm all for less washing up and minimal washing up. So I'm using the same bowl to proof my dough in. Just oiled it with a bit of oil. Just about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of oil. And then I'm going to put my dough in there. Now you can see how soft the dough is already. I'm going to cover it with cling film or plastic wrap and leave it in a warm place to proof for 1.5 to 2 hours. So the proving is very important because you want your dough to be nice and fluffy inside and well risen and not dense or doughy when you eat your bread rolls at the end. So as you can see, after 2 hours, my dough has proved very well. It's more than double in size. I'm just removing the cling wrap now. You can see it's pillowy soft and airy. So that's what you want from your bread. So this recipe you can make at this stage. You can put it into a bread loaf tin and have a loaf of bread, or you can do all shapes with the bread, with the dough at least. But I'm going to make surprise rolls, so I'm going to divide it into 10 equal pieces. But I got fairly big rolls out of this dough, so you can make it into about 15, cut it into 15 equal sizes as well. So just cut it into the same size, because you want your dough or your bread to bake evenly. So you're looking at even sizes of the balls. So just on your work surface, just roll it with a ball of your hand into a smooth ball. So then I've lined a baking tray with parchment paper or greaseproof paper. So as I said, I'm all for less washing up and less time in front of the kitchen sink, so I line my trays with greaseproof paper, which makes it easy and convenient cleaning up at the end. So yeah, so you've just put your dough in there and you're going to leave it to proof for another 10 minutes while your oven is warming up. So as I said, I'm making surprise rolls. I'm taking it one by one. Just put it back on the surface and using your fingers, just roll it flat. Fill it with your filling. So I'm using leftover mince curry. 1 to 2 teaspoons of mince curry in there. And then you're going to fold it over. Pinch it close all around so that the filling don't escape when it's baking. And you want a fairly dry texture or filling inside. If it's wet, then it's going to cook out, obviously. So then you pinch it together and roll it slightly into your hand again. And the seam you put at the bottom of the tray. And you continue doing that with all the bread rolls. You can even fill it with cheese, garlic and cheese, or garlic cheese bread loaves with your next braai or barbecue. And you can make a Venusmoortjie as well and fill it with Venusmoortjies or prawns or anything that you fancy. After all, it is a surprise roll. So surprise your family with your surprise rolls, fillings. And then you're going to egg wash it. So this is just an egg that I've whipped and I'm brushing it all over the rolls before it goes in the oven. So this is risen for another 10 minutes, as I said, while the oven is warming. And just before it goes in the oven, you're going to egg wash it. And it's optional to sprinkle some sesame seeds or sunflower seeds or poppy seeds, whichever takes your fancy, over the tops. I'm just doing a few here to show you. I'm using the sesame seeds. It's going to bake in the oven at a preheated oven for 180 degrees for about 25 minutes until it's golden brown and cook through. So when you turn the roll around and give it a tap at the bottom, it should sound hollow. That means it's completely cooked through. There's nothing worse than biting into a roll and it's all doughy inside and dense. So it's important for the proving to prove it long enough and before baking to prove it again. So there you have it, your surprise rolls. I hope you're going to try my recipe sometime and do let me know what you think of it. And this is Salwa of Cape Malay Cooking and Other Delights. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.